Hey everyone, I just wanted to make a video just to, talk about how I've been feeling and thoughts I've been having in the last week. And I guess it's just that, I still do struggle with anxiety at times. And, last night, for example, I was watching a TV show which I've really been enjoying, but one of the main characters has breast cancer. It's something that really just triggers my health anxiety, and I often try to avoid, information to do with diseases and health concerns. And so, not that that's the best method to go about it when it comes to just avoiding it, but, sometimes I do have to look after myself and just not trigger myself all the time. And, I just was thinking about breast cancer all of a sudden, and my brain's looping on it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, thinking about the statistics. And it's just interesting to notice myself still quite easily get quite overwhelmed in those moments. I'm definitely a lot better than I was in the past. I used to be so anxious that I could barely sit with myself for more than a minute because my thoughts were just so exhausting, and I was not functioning at all. And, I could barely work. I just felt like I could barely do anything back then. So I'm aware that I am so much better than where I was. And, I think that largely comes down to the work that I've done on myself and kind of learning about my own childhood traumas and the ways that have, the things that have happened to form the person that I am today. And everything makes a lot more sense to me. And I think it really helps learning about yourself, because it reminds you that, the way that you are is often learned, and it can be unlearned, and you can relearn other ways of being. I've always, said to myself that I'm an anxious person for several years now, but I think that getting stuck in that identity is not a good thing either. I think now I prefer to think, I am a person that experiences anxious feelings, and I don't attach so much of myself to the identity of being an anxious person, because I think that, imprints on my brain and creates part of my personality which doesn't have to be there. I'm not saying I just overcome anxiety overnight, because I don't say that I'm an anxious person, but yeah, I definitely do think it makes a big difference, kind of self-talk that we have with ourselves. Yeah. It's interesting because, sometimes I'll just be driving, for example, and I'll hear a song and it will be nostalgic, and it will kind of take me back to a different period of my life, when my dad died, and a lot of kind of traumatic events in my life, which kind of led to a lot more anxiety. But it kind of takes me back just for a fleeting moment of feeling how I felt back then. And it, is often just open and excited and hopeful. And, I come back to the present where I'm driving in my car, and it always kind of shocks me, because I guess it makes me realize there's such a contrast between how I used to feel and how I've felt for a long time now. And it reminds me kind of how much, I guess, I've normalized a feeling of underlying dread and anxiety. Even if it's 5% one day versus 100% another day, I think it's just always there. And it's kind of a heaviness that I still carry. And I think I'm on, quite a long journey to try and overcome and deal with all of that. And I have definitely made a lot of progress. I am much, much better than I used to feel. And I do feel okay most days, and I do feel good a lot of the time. I do laugh, I do still have fun, but I do think I get really caught, in this kind of struggle of balancing working on myself and being self-aware and, taking responsibility for my problems, versus kind of just feeling carefree and having adventures and having fun and just learning what brings me joy. I think that, when you're so honed in and focused on your anxiety or whatever's going on for you, and you're just trying to find solutions and to fix yourself, it's really easy to lose sight of just kind of stepping back and taking a breath and trying to just focus on what brings you joy and what you can do to actually, bring these positive experiences into your life. Because I definitely lack that. And, a lot of the problems I've felt do feel very isolating. The OCD and, the health anxiety is quite specific for me. And, the tinnitus that I and many of you have felt, a lot of that can be really isolating and a lonely experience. And so, I also have struggled with a lot of loneliness, which obviously doesn't help, your overall well-being. But that is something that I do really want to change. And, I do feel lonely in the sense as well of friends. I've just evolved a lot as a person and kind of grown in different paths to a lot of people that have been in my life. And, there are still some people that I've known for years that I know I could still call on and we could go and meet up and have a lovely chat, But I have a very small circle around me outside of my family, and, I really would love to make more friends, but I think it's just so hard when you are constantly feeling so drained and energyless. I have to work, I have to survive. So between work and eating and sleeping and just trying to rest and relax, I do find, then trying to make friends is quite difficult. And again, it's not like I have no one in my life. I do have a couple of friends, but I definitely am lacking just really solid, deep connections. And, that is something that I know I have to make the effort to change. But I don't know if you can relate to me in the sense of wanting that and having the desire and longing for that connection, but also just really lacking the energy and, mindset of just feeling, capable to do that. Because, I've been on apps like Bumble and things to make friends, and it's I just want to skip all of the small talk, which I've never really loved. I just like getting straight to the deep shit. But I just wish I could go from, we'll skip past that whole part and just be really kind of in a deep connection with somebody. But I know that that's not possible. I wish I did have more connection in my life is my point. And that is also something that I struggle with. And, I don't know if that's stuff that you guys also experience. I think it's quite common these days to struggle making friends as an adult. I'm still struggling and learning about what brings me joy. I don't have many hobbies, and, I'm trying to figure out my own interests and to find, what brings my life joy. And I'm still very much on a journey with that. And so when you don't have maybe, hobbies and groups that you meet up with, making friends in the real world can be quite difficult. And that's okay. And I know I will get there eventually, but I just am, I guess, in a place of my life where, just surviving and getting better and better each day was a priority. But I definitely want to make more connections as well. I guess, this video is very unscripted, and I don't know if this has all just come out as complete nonsensical rambling and doesn't really have much of a point. But I just wanted to, I guess, be transparent and say that, even though I have made so much progress from where I once was, I'd say kind of my rock bottom probably in 2020 when tinnitus kind of came into my life. And then a long time after that was a real struggle. I still can struggle with feelings of anxiety, and, all humans feel anxious. It's just, on a spectrum to the level of anxiety, the chronic anxiety that can, differ from person to person. And so, I'm just one of those cracked people, I guess, that's figuring it all out. I don't have all the answers, and no one does. And, I'm just somebody that's trying to figure things out day by day. And I actually will be planning a trip, hopefully with my partner, to go traveling again towards the end of next year. which will be really exciting. You know, I think travel is something that I haven't done much of in my life, and I think that will bring me a lot of joy, just being able to kind of plan for that and, you know, look at the countries that we're interested in going to and kind of have those goals. But ultimately, you know, and the most difficult thing is that we have to learn to be okay in the present moment and to appreciate and, you know, accept the present moment. And I think that's, you know, where real contentment comes from, is not having to be future focused. Although I think it's important to have goals and things in the future that you can look forward to. I think there's no denying that. But I also know that, you know, being able to sit with myself and accept myself fully and embrace any feeling that I'm having is really where kind of true, I guess, personal growth and contentment often happens. So that's also something that I try to do as often as I can. I don't know if this, again, was all just nonsense, but I guess I'm just speaking my thoughts. And I just want to say that, you know, if you struggle with any of these things, just know that you're not alone. And I think so many people are struggling, and, you know, not everybody talks about it. And I just want to normalize that struggling is very much a part of most people's lives. And yeah, to kind of help you, you know, feel less alone, because we all struggle in some way. Even the people that you think aren't struggling will be struggling with something. So, you know, I'm struggling with a whole lot of different things, but I'm still, you know, still keeping on. So yeah, I am going to make videos about my sleep, more things around tinnitus, because I know that a lot of you who have followed me have questions about that. So that's definitely going to happen. And I'm going to make videos about a whole lot of things. I just have to have the mental capacity to do it, which, you know, I will. I just have to take it easy on myself when I know that that needs to happen, which is also something I'm trying to learn, to slow down and to, yeah, just breathe more and not be rushing through everything. So yeah, hopefully this video made sense in some way and maybe has helped you, or, you know, is relatable at least for you. Thank you for subscribing if you have subscribed to my channel so far. Yeah, let's keep on going in life, and yeah, I hope you feel okay and have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and thank you for watching. Stay hopeful, and so will I.